parity, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and really, Dak Prescott. These are game managers. They're not difference makers.
When you say game manager, I'm not asking you to go out and win the game. I'm just asking you not to lose.
Not to lose the game. Exactly. Listen, I don't give a damn what you do. You don't have to score every time. You just don't have to throw a pick every time either. If we're going to really call a spade, there's a difference between managers of the game and difference makers of a game.
Like, give me a break. I'm just so, like, honestly, like, move past the outfit for a second. He literally said, in the year of 2023, where it's all about NFL backups, where's Cam? Not on an NFL roster, right? So he's talking about all these NFL game managers. He sounds like the people literally tweeting at me from their basement, like, get back in the kitchen. Like, it's like you are at home watching me. Like just turn the TV off.
Probably
like,
in the kitchen.
Like, it just sounds so foolish.
None of those.
Welcome to the Red Blizzard 357 show. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Share this video all over the internet. Today we're going to discuss Kimberly Martin's disrespect of Cam Newton. But not just that, the mindset of the B-Dub, the modern B-Dub. The infestation that's destroying the black community. The cause and causation. You're looking at it. You heard it yourself in the beginning. And she says people getting at her, talking about get back in the kitchen. Well, we know women with your mindset don't know anything about the kitchen because you're so opinionated and you think you're too good for those type of duties. Because in your mind, it's oppression. It's slavery. It's not allowing you to be your best self in your mind. In your distorted way of thinking, that's what you believe. And you look at this woman who wants to throw shots at Cam Newton as if he doesn't know what he's talking about, as if his opinion is not valid. It should be invalidated by someone like Kimberly Martin. And you ask the question, who is Cam Newton to have these opinions? Which is kind of ironic because we can ask the same question of you. Who are you? Where did you come from? Who planted you in that position? Whose knob did you have to buff off to sit in that chair? How did you get there? What makes your opinion any more valid than these same men who you say are tweeting at you from their basement? See, women like this, you quick to say, oh, the people that are coming at me are making these comments from their parents' basement. That's supposed to disparage and undercut these opinions. That makes these opinions invalid. Because in your mind, oh, these men live with their parents and they're tweeting at me, get back in the kitchen. You have such a grandiose opinion of yourself. What about the guys with microphones that may or may not live in a mansion with a microphone in front of their face, talking? Do these men have a right to have an opinion about your nonsensical opinion of what Cam Newton had to say? Your disrespectful comments towards Cam Newton? Do these men have a right to their opinion? Kimberly Martin? What makes your opinion so valid? You're throwing shots at Cam Newton as a person. You got disparaging things to say about him, and you don't like his hat and the way he dresses and things like this. Well, Cam Newton, I believe, was a league MVP. He was an actual NFL quarterback. Cam Newton actually played in a Super Bowl. You asked the rhetorical, smarmy question of, Cam Newton is not even an NFL backup right now. What team is he currently on? Well, Kimberly Martin, have you ever played in the NFL? Have you ever played football? Since we want to ask rhetorical, smarmy questions, answer that. You see, a lot of these B-dubs get far over their skis when we know you probably buffed somebody off to even sit in that chair that you're sitting in. Who are you? You're questioning a former NFL MVP, a man who has played in the Super Bowl, so I'm sure his opinions hold a lot more weight than yours. But see, this is the modern mindset of the modern B-dub. The strong and independent B-dub wearing Becky's hair on her head. Let's face it. They want to be respected. They're so strong and independent. They can't even wear their own hair on their head. They have to buy another person's hair from another culture to glue on to their scalp. Since we want to be smarmy and throw insults, well, hey, let's do that then. This is why black men are copping their passports and they're going overseas to find wives. Because of broads like this, that think like this, that act like this, they carry themselves like this, that look like this. Talk to me. Y'all know I'm right. Subscribe to the channel. Y'all know I'm right. SYSBM. Shout out to the Passport Bros. Shout out to Zoom to Thailand. That brother got it right. He know. Black men are tired of the nonsense of the B-dub in the West. You even have, there was a B-dub bragging about going to Brazil and pretending like she was Brazilian to finesse a guy out of some money. You don't have anything else better to do with your time? In your mind, that's a dub. But people with common sense know that's a capital L for you. Capital L. Because you have no life. If you think that's a W, you spent your money to go overseas to lie to a man for what? To prove a point. To prove a point. What is the point that you think that you proved? This is the whole reason brothers are getting their passports and getting out of the West. Because we're tired of dealing with this nonsense. Women like Kimberly Martin is going out of their way to disrespect black men. And thinking that we should just sit back and take it and tolerate it. Nah. Those times are over with. I mean, nah, we ain't sitting back and taking this BS. I mean, this woman actually sitting up here taking shots at Cam like he don't know what he talking about. I mean, whose opinions would you take with will hold more weight? Cam Newton, an actual ex-NFL quarterback that played in the Super Bowl? Or this random broad that they just stuck up on ESPN? Another random black B-dub disrespecting a black man. ESPN love pushing these bras out in front of us, like Malika Andrews. These mop-head Muppets. Cane toads. Snuffy turds. What is a snuffy turd? Red Blizzard 357. I'm glad y'all asked. These bras walking around wearing hair from other cultures, wearing these stupid elongated eyelashes. 3 pounds of makeup, looking like a transformer. If Snuffleupagus on Sesame Street took a shit, it would look like the modern B-dub. it would look like Kimberly Martin. Yes, the blizzard has started. No, your shovel will not be enough. Let the snow come down in tons. I seen a video online of there was a brother out enjoying himself. I want to say he was in the Philippines. And he was in a bar enjoying himself. There were a lot of Filipino women there, beautiful Filipino women. Slim, in great shape, just beautiful women. They were vibing with him. And in the corner, there were like 4 B-dubs. And you could just look at them wearing what we used to call the screw face. And they were like, you could tell they were just hating, sideline hating that what black men have been talking about for a long time now. What passport bros have been talking about for a long time now. They wanted to see for themselves if it was true. Submissive, pleasant, positive vibe having traditional women of another culture from another country actually treating that brother with dignity and respect. Totally submissive. These women will tell you they're raised to be wives. They're taught to be wives. That's their culture. Not the B-dub, no. They quick to tell you that little money you bring in ain't shit. You don't measure up to what I feel a man should be. Okay, no problem, no problem. You stay right there. I'm across the street and keep going with my business. That's how brothers need to stand on business. Cross the street and take your ass to the airport, bruh. You got a flight to catch. Playtime is over. See, what these black women didn't anticipate as SYSBM movement coming through like a hurricane, or should I say, like a blizzard. Yeah, coming through like a blizzard on that ass. A red one. With 2 357. And I'm convinced ESPN is putting these bras at the forefront to attack and destroy black men. And they're doing it on purpose. And then you feel them with brothers on a panel, dudes on a panel, they're straight up cucking for her. Oh yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Oh you trashing Cam? Hey, I'm with you. Let's trash Cam. For you dudes to do that, you simp ass dudes to fall in line with bras like this, y'all some straight up suckers. To the dudes like y'all know what Red Blizzard always say. Pull the drawstring on your tampon, nigga. You're bleeding too much. Yeah, I just want to get at y'all real quick on this Sunday morning. This been irritating me all week. I want to get on it sooner, but it's like if I would have got on this story like right the day that it happened, probably would have been a lot of cursing in this video. I ain't gonna lie, I was definitely triggered because it's a problem that's festering in society as a whole, especially in the black community. These women don't respect black men, and they're doing everything they can to undercut black men, to destroy black men, and smear us in every aspect of the media. And they're going out of their way to do it. And then they wonder why brothers are choosing to go overseas to find suitable mates. See, they thought we were going over there to trick off and just, buy box. I'm not talking about those brothers. That's something else. That's on something else. I'm not on that. I don't support that. I don't vibe with that. The SYSBM movement is for brothers that get their passport, go overseas to find wives. Because the B-Dub has directly and indirectly told black men they have no interest in being a wife. They have no interest in being traditional. They find traditionalism in women as being a slave, as being subservient. They view that as a negative. So they go out of their way to display characteristics that's the complete opposite. They're rebelling against what's in their own best interest. They have no desire for that. It's like an adrenaline high, an adrenaline junkie you're addicted to the high of danger. The B-Dub is addicted to being an antagonist of the black man. They don't want or respect black men. So what they see and deem black men wanting out of a woman, they go out of their way to go to the extreme opposite direction. If black men was to do a complete 180 and be like, and we start talking about the way black women in this current society, the way they're acting right now, we start saying that we love that. We love that in black women. We want black women, we want Western women to act like they're acting now. We love it. These women would do the same 180 just so they could do the opposite of what men are saying they want. That's how you know you're dealing with the mentality of a child in an adult body. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. Not at all, not at all. And it's not cute. A lot of them think having an attitude and being sassy and disagreeable and confrontational and belligerent, they think that's cute. They think it's a virtue, a personality virtue, a positive thing to have. This is what they actually believe. But if they was to actually have the ability to sit back for one moment and exercise the most basic strain of common sense, the most minuscule strain, just any kind of common sense at all, and think about it, why would a man want and embrace being stressed out on purpose? Because that's what you're doing. Why would a man want to be with someone who's basically stressing them into an early grave? By henpecking that man every day, day after day, day after day. Man comes home from a hard day's work. If he comes straight home, he sits in his car for 10, 20, 30 minutes, listening to music, collecting his thoughts, because he knows soon as he steps foot in that house, the henpecking, the nagging, is going to be right there at the door waiting for him. And soon enough, he stops coming straight home. He starts going to a bar first, having a drink, thinking to himself, damn, I gotta go home and listen to the mouth of this broad. He's in a bar maybe a half an hour. Then he goes home. Sits in his car another additional 20, 30 minutes. Because what? He knows as soon as he walks in that door, the nagging's gonna start. What kind of life is that? That's not living at all. SYSBM. Passport Bros, shout out. We here, we in the building. The airport building, that is. Catch those flights. Because, brothers, your wife is in another country waiting for you. And I'm willing to bet. I haven't looked it up. You guys can look it up if you want to. I'm going to leave this video in its totality. I'm going to leave a link down in the description box down below. You can check it out and in its totality. Or, you know, the channel is around the association. But I don't know what ESPN's angle is and why they're so hell-bent on pushing these type of women whose sole purpose is to destroy black men. I mean, you look at the Josh Giddey situation, they don't even touch that situation. But had that been, let's say you subtract Josh Giddey and you insert Kyrie Irving. Whether they have all the details to the story or not, they would most certainly be running this story every single day, over and over again. Kyrie Irving's character and everything about him would be under attack constantly. Whether it's true or not, whether all the facts and details of the case are out or not, Kyrie Irving will be getting drugged on ESPN. But ironically, because Josh Giddey doesn't have a permanent suntan, you have puppets like Stephen A. Smith saying, well, we don't have all the facts of the story, so we have to be very careful and delicate the way we approach it. And we can't really talk about it because you can get sued. Bunch of nonsense. You can't get sued over your opinion, Stephen A. So that's a bunch of BS. But that's another story. I'll deal with you another time. We're talking about this broad, Kimberly Martin, right now. Because she's really the representation of the B-dub today in society. How easy it is for them to betray black men and turn on black men and drag black men in the media. This mophead, snuffy turd oh, I forgot. you know, if you're in a basement talking, your opinion don't matter. But my opinion does, even though I've never played in the NFL. And yet I know more than the actual NFL quarterback. So my opinion matters. But the guy in the basement talking, no, don't listen to him. The guy in his parents' basement talking, don't listen to him. Is he in his parents' basement talking? Is he in the basement talking? Is he in a mansion talking? So, if I was in a 7,221 square foot mansion talking in a microphone about your nonsensical comments, Miss Kimberly Martin, is my opinion validated now? Shout out to new media, as Draymond Green would refer to it as. Shout out to the podcasters, the YouTubers, the independent content creators. They go out of their way to discuss matters like this when mainstream media and platforms like ESPN, legacy media, and platforms that will not talk about subjects like this because they're pigeon-toed by certain regulations and things of that nature. See, these independent spaces are needed. This is what the people have been needing for decades, to have these uncomfortable conversations that need to be had, to present these facts that need to be heard all over the world. These conversations have been taking place long before YouTube existed, long before we had microphones in front of our faces doing podcasts and things of that nature. We've always had these conversations. It's just that now these conversations can be broadcasted all over the world. And it's irritating the demonic souls and spirits of these B-dubs because now their BS can no longer be hidden. It's on Front Street and everybody can see what's going on. You know what they say? The one that's closest to you will be your downfall. It's always the ones closest to you that will stab you in the back. Black men conditioned by a culture to think that the B-Dug is our woman. She has our back. Nah. She's just waiting for the right opportunity to stab you in the back with a rusty spoon. The opinions of bras like this Kimberly Martin chick, this mentality and mindset is the fuel to the fire of the mindset of Clarissa Shields, who's on record. She's a boxer. She's a champion in the women's side of boxing. She has multiple belts. She's on record as saying she spars with men all the time. She can beat a man in a boxing match. See, this is the era that we're in now, where women actually think they can compete with a man on a man's level. She's continually calling out men, challenging men. And then what happens? This video, apparently it's an older video of her sparring against a guy. They both have headgear on. So it's really like a full speed sparring match. And obviously the guy was told not to hold back. So what happens? He knocks Clarissa Shields out. Now, of course, she had excuses and all. The guy took padding out of his gloves and this and that. Okay. That's what the B-Dub is known for. That's what they're good at. See, sometimes you just have to let Darwinism take its place. At first, I was like, you know what? She better not get in the ring with a man, because she could get deleted in the ring in front of the world. That's a bad idea. But you know what? Maybe Darwinism needs to take place. Maybe this hard lesson needs to be learned in front of the whole world. So I say, let her get in the ring and fight a man. Unfortunately, whatever guy she fights, he's in a lose-lose situation either way. You knock out a woman. Why did you fight a woman in the first place? You're not a man. Now, whoever she calls out, if the guy doesn't accept the fight, you got called out by a woman and You ducked her. You know, you scared. You're not a man. You scared to accept her challenge. If he accepts her challenge, number one, why are you so eager to fight a woman? He loses there. If he beats her brains out in the ring, you beat up a woman, you're no real man. It's a no-win situation from the man's point of view. He can't win either way. So I say the man has to basically have no feelings, no conscience, no nothing. Be like, you know what? Okay. Accept the challenge. Don't care what people think. Get in that ring. Don't care what people think. Beat the snot out of her. Don't care what people think. It is what it is. She has to learn this hard lesson. And that's what it's going to take for it to happen. And of course, after the fight, she's going to have all kinds of excuses why she lost. Oh, he was leaning on me. He was holding me. He head-butted me. He took the padding out of his gloves. He weighed more in the fight than he weighed at the weigh-in. He was lighter in a fight than he weighed at the weigh-in. He blew a booger on me during a fight and wiped it on me. He knocked out one of my contact lenses so I could no longer see. So that's how he caught me with the uppercut. It's going to be some kind of excuse why she lost. Because that's modern women, especially the B-dub. Y'all know I'm right. Don't get mad because the blizzard is snowing on you. And you'll have talking heads like Kimberly Martin helping out with the excuses. Well, she only got knocked out because, one of her shoelaces came untied and she's distracted by it. So he caught her with a left hook. And, that's the only reason that happened. Otherwise, she would have won. I'm sure Cam Newton would agree with me. ESPN is about to be the past. Because this is my personal opinion of what's going to happen. Stephen A. is already leveraging ESPN against the independent market like YouTube, podcasts, and things like that. And it's easier for guys that's already established, that are famous, whether it's a former athlete or whatever, to transition from legacy media, whether sports media or like news media, leveraging that against the independent space. It's easier for them to make the transition because everybody already knows who they are, knows their face, knows their voice, things of that nature. Stephen A. probably looking at owning his own voice, basically. His own likeness, his own voice, this and that. So very, very soon, my personal opinion, Stephen A. is going to leave ESPN. The ratings still going to be, as far as First Take goes, the ratings are still going to be decent because Shannon Sharpe he's a force in itself. He got there. He did the reverse leverage thing. He already, he got a Club Shay Shay over here on YouTube and things. He got podcasts. He got a show with Ocho Cinco. So he kind of did the opposite. But what he's gonna learn too is, there are certain things you can't say on ESPN, aka legacy media. And it's gonna wear on him too, because he's gonna, there's gonna be situations where he's probably gonna step into the gray area and say some things, and then he's gonna be forced to apologize or might even get suspended or whatever. And then he's gonna be like, you know what? Maybe I should go back to the independent space full time, to where I have more freedom of expression. I can talk about certain topics that executives at ESPN don't want me to touch. I have more freedom in the independent space. So what's going to end up happening? Shannon Sharpe will eventually leave First Take 2. And once that happens, it's a wrap. First Take will fold. Because people are tired of being on the leash of legacy media in one aspect or another. This is why the independent voices of SYSBM are so strong. Because we can combat the nonsensical statements of women like Kimberly Martin, who are feeding the delusions of black women all over America. This is also the reason why Passport Bros, the movement in itself, is so important. Subscribe to my channel. Y'all know the blizzard got that heat for you. I bring that freezer burn to your face. What's crazy also, I seen a clip maybe one time. She even attacks Cam Newton's attire. Like, what does that have to do with his football take? Of which he's an expert of, because he played in the league as an NFL starting quarterback who started in a Super Bowl. So, but we're supposed to ignore his take on quarterbacks being game managers. We're supposed to ignore his take and embrace and listen to the take of Kimberly Martin. How does that even make sense? Shout out to Cam Newton. He over here in this independent space, killing it. That interview he did with Charleston White, I think that video was like in the millions, I heard. Shout out to Cam doing it big. But yeah, I just wanted to get at y'all for a minute on this Sunday morning. After the triggerness wore off. Because when I first heard this broad say the things she said, and it just made me lean back and think about black women as a whole. The mentality of black women in America is finished. It's destroyed. The things that they value and the way that they think, it's understandable, and it's blatantly obvious why they are not wife material. Do not make the mistake of marrying one of these snuffy turds. Do not do that, brothers. SYSBM. Passport bros. Hey, that is definitely the better option. And with that being said, subscribe to my channel. You can also show support by hitting up the Cash App, $ Cobra Clutch 357. With that being said, I'm out.